isn't that just a beauty? Today in this video we're going to be taking a look at the Dovpo M VV 2, and I think we should put a few more random letters at the end of that just to round it off, but that's what we're going to take a look at. First of all, we'll dive down below. There's not going to be a lot to this. It's a very simple mod, a very simple design, so I'll see you back here in a couple of minutes. I told you there wouldn't be much to this. It's a very simple design, but it's very effective. I'm a big fan of potentiometers. I like the simplicity of them. You crank them down as low as you possibly want to if you want to reduce the amount of voltage that is running through the device or from the batteries to your RDA, your tank, whatever it may be on top. And then you crank it up to increase the voltage. It's knowing though the lowest voltage that it puts out to the highest voltage. For this potentiometer, the lowest output range is 1 volt and the maximum output range is 8 volts. So we know somewhere on this dial, somewhere on this gauge, that we are going to be running anywhere between 1 volt and 8 volts at maximum. The ideal operating voltage for this device is between 6.4 volts and 8.4 volts, and that's when the batteries are at maximum capacity. The LED on the front, nice little feature, very simple, doesn't need to be much more. Tells you how much charge is on your battery, red, amber and green. Red being the lowest obviously, amber middle and green highest. If it's at green and your batteries are at full capacity, and anything from 7.6 volts up to 8.4 volts. If it's amber, your batteries are within about 7 volts and 7.6 volts. And if it's red, then that means your batteries have dropped below 6.9 volts. And I would be suggesting at that point that you put them on to charge. You do still get a little bit of power from them, but not much. You can tell that the power is dropping off. You're not getting as much of a hit from the device itself. So when it gets to red, I'm looking at changing over. I want to get that satisfying vape, so I try and change when it gets to red. To use the potentiometer, the best way to start out really is to start low. Don't crank it up, otherwise you end up just burning your coil or burning your cotton. It's to start low, start at 1 or 2 and then work it up. Find that comfortable spot. Me personally, I always build to about 0.1, 0.14 in that range on an RDA. So I always put mine at about number 2 on the dial, and then I go up a little bit higher or lower depending on the resistance of the coil itself. If I'm running a series coil, anything for about 0.3 ohms, I would probably crank this all the way up. I like it nice and hot. The maximum output wattage for this device is 280 watts, and it does feel like 280 watts. It's hot, it's warm, it's dense. It's very nice, but trust me, the batteries do not last when you're running in that mode. Typically it has all the protection elements that we would expect in a regulated device of short circuit protection, open circuit warning, low voltage protection, over temperature and overtime protection if you are firing it for too long, if you've got the button pressed accidentally. The lowest resistance that you can put on here is a 0.08 and the maximum resistance is 3.5 ohms. I would suggest though not putting a 0.08 on here. If it drops just below the 0.8, it has that ability to not fire because the coil hasn't warmed up, it hasn't changed resistance slightly, so it misfires. What I did find though, if that happens, take the batteries out, put the batteries back in, and it seems to just realign itself. It seems to not reconfigure, but it seems to read the coil correctly. It does come in 3 different setups, 3 different designs. This one here is the Hanya setup. You've also got a Dragon Samurai and a Skull and Roses. I don't have those, I wish I did, they're equally as nice, but I'm actually really happy with this design. I like the simplicity of it and I think it looks pretty cool, don't you? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you all agree, don't you? Yeah, of course you do. They have included a charging port. I'm not convinced that I would want to charge my batteries inside there, so I'm not going to suggest that you charge that. I think it is purely for charging the batteries, not for upgrading, so please remember to charge these in an external charger just for safety reasons. It is a very nice cleanly designed casing with brass contacts. It's been well done. So far I'm running a dead rabbit on top, but 24mm devices seem to sit just perfectly, no overhang. There is a bit of a bevel on the top there. I think if you go any more than 24mm you will end up with that OCD overhang and that would cause me a bit of an issue, but I don't think it needs to be much more. The 510 itself on top is nice and clean. It's the threads are very smooth. I've not had any problems screwing onto it. There's no janky threads whatsoever and no issues with the contact. Well, you probably want to see a cloud or two. This is from Homemade Juicers. This is Mental and this is like a cherry syrup. It's very nice. It's like a licking the top of a Black Forest Gatto. It's really good. So here you go. Here's a cloud or two. It's alright, it's really good. It does produce some plumage, as you can see, and it's more than enough for my daily vaping needs. I do find that when I'm running this all day, I have to take a spare set of batteries, but one quick change during the day is more than enough to get me through a whole day. I've been Graham, this has been Vape Underground, and this was the Dovpo M VV2 from Sourcemore, and for £27 I think it's an absolute bargain. It's been a pleasure to use and a pleasure to enjoy, and I think I'm going to carry on using this. It's been a favourite of mine for the last couple of weeks and it probably will be for the next few weeks as well. Remember, smash that subscribe button, ring that notification bell and drop the comments. That's the most important part, I think, is the comments. I like to hear what you think about these videos, but also please hit that subscribe button. I'm getting close to 1,000 and it's starting to get on my OCD tits. See you all soon, guys, and remember, vape responsibly. You waiting for me to vape, aren't you? I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to walk that way. No, I've got to do it. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers now. It's almost there. But click, click, and this has been the Dovpo M VV2 X-Ray Foxtrot Tango from Sourcemore. Thank you very much. And this was the Dovpo M VV2 X-Ray Foxtrot Tango Whiskey Kilo and some other random letters at the end there, and it was sent to me from Sourcemore. Bell. Drop me some comments down below as well. I like to see the comments from you guys as well. That really does float my boat. Hit that subscribe button. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers. It's doing my nutting. I just want to reach that first target. And this was the Dovpo M VV2 X-ray Tango Kilo Foxtrot, something like that. Vape Underground, and more important,